Welcome to Food and Loathing, a weekly conversation about Las Vegas restaurants by people who spend a hell of a lot of time in them for people who want to spend more time in them.
That's right.
I'm Al Mancini. I'm joined by Gemini Stevens. We are both local culinary journalists, is a fancy way of saying we eat, we write about it. And we are the co-hosts of this podcast. We're coming to you this week from Edge Steakhouse in the Westgate Resort. And I got to tell you, oh, by the way, Rich Johnson is not with us today. Nope. He is still up at the Seattle studios making this all sound fantastic. I knew we were going to be recording at Edge Steakhouse today. I didn't even know they had this room that we're in.
Isn't it cool? I love the chandelier.
We're in the Elvis room, the private dining room, the blue and purple chandelier, beautiful picture of young, sexy Elvis hanging out at the head of one table and at the other table. Yeah. He's at both heads of the table. But more interestingly, a collection of Mr. Presley's guns.
Seriously.
Framed on the wall behind us. So that's interesting. There's 1,
BT
2,
Beretta,
3,
Derringer.
4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7 Elvis guns here. So throw a private party at your next convention right here at Edge Steakhouse, and you could show off Elvis's guns.
That's right.
You can't fire them. No firing them. So I'm psyched to be here. And in about 20 minutes, we're going to be joined by Chef Dante Garcia, as well as the lead bartender, a man I've known for many years, Mike Thompson. I know I'm getting him out of bed early to do this. I feel a little bad, but Mike is awesome. They're going to speak to us about what makes this restaurant great and, why it's been so popular for years among conventioneers, as well as among my wife and I, who have been fans for many, many, many years through many fantastic chefs here. So super excited about that. Also on this show, we've got Happy Hour Vegas' Andrew Morgan talking about margarita happy hours for National Margarita Day. Main Street National Margarita Day. We really need that. I feel like
yes,
we've got Cinco de Mayo, and we've got we got Mexican Independence Day.
All of that.
We've got a lot of times that margaritas seem to be the drink of the day.
Some days you just wake up and it's I need a margarita day.
Okay.
I mean,
Anita Margarita. That could be your drag queen name. Anita Margarita.
Doing it for sure.
Oh, yes. And we live in a town where drag queens are still respected.
Absolutely.
What else do we have? So, National Margarita Day. Andrew's going to tell you about that. Main Street Provision chef and the most recent Hell's Kitchen champion, Ellie Parker, will be telling us about an upcoming collaborative game meat dinner she's doing with Chef Nicole Brisson at Brezza in Resorts World. I'm also going to share a conversation I had with the Macallan's Allan Roth at a recent Macallan tasting at Allē on 66 at the Tippy Top of Resorts World.
You were all the way up there.
Yeah, man, that's a nice place to look at ridiculously expensive and well worth it booze, man.
Right?
And sniff some corks and maybe sip a little bit here and there. So we're gonna have that conversation with their rep Allan, and then Chef Jason Janson. I'm talking to him. Nice long interview there. It's probably around 8 or 9 minutes. I know you don't really care, but if you're planning ahead, it's coming towards the end of the show. And he's going to talk to us about the return of Hearthstone Kitchen in the Red Rock Resort. But first, we like to share details on where we dine and what parties we attend. I have had an eventful week, but before I get to that, Gemini, have you been anywhere that is worth discussing?
I have. Last week I mentioned that, or maybe a couple weeks ago, that I had popped into La Casa de Juliet. Just had margaritas that day. We were out with my friend. She was getting a new car. And so on Valentine's,
what'd she get?
She got a Volkswagen Taos, which I didn't even know was a thing. We found it on accident and fell in love with it.
Okay.
So super happy for her.
Cool.
I'm actually driving it today. It's kind of fun.
This show is not sponsored by Volkswagen, but if they'd like to throw some fucking money at us, we're here.
We're here. So John came in for the weekend. It was Valentine's Day. And I've mentioned my friend Willow a lot lately. She's been kind of taking care of me as I still convalesce from all these different surgeries and medical things that have been going on. So the three of us went and we got to not eat her food, but we got to see Chef Mariana Alvarado from Mas Azul and stuff like that. And so we made plates at a pottery thing that she was doing. So we did that on Saturday, and not far away was La Casa. So we went over to La Casa de Juliet and laid it all out. Two of us got enchiladas, one with beef, I did the upgrade for the duck carnitas. Super delicious, super tender. The sauces have just enough kick. So if you're not a huge spicy eater like I am, you can still enjoy
I'm
it.
a pussy. You eat the good spicy stuff.
Oh, yeah. We had, of course, the esquites with the bone marrow, which is like a must-do, adding the bone marrow because it just makes it that much more unctuous and rich. And
yeah,
like a dish like that isn't already beautiful and buttery and all the things.
Just figure out a way you can add more fat to it.
Right? Always.
More cholesterol, more of everything your doctor says is too high in your blood work. You just add that right on in.
Do it. We did the queso fundido, which I like how they do it there. It's not a very tall dish. It's actually very one of those really thin cast iron dishes that they put stuff on, and I like that because then you get that almost like a sakarat, that crunchy bit on the bottom of the cheese,
exactly.
So you can kind of roll it onto things versus dipping things.
Yeah, and you can kind of scoop it up.
Yeah.
Get your fork under that bottom area. Yeah, that's so fucking good, man.
So good. And
you're all picturing it at home. I know, man. You're drooling.
It's fantastic. We did that. We had the fresh guacamole. It comes with their adobo toasted chips, but also with these huge chicharrones that are so light. And so you're just, eating bacon fat with more fatty avocado and cheese and all the goodness, and it's so worth it.
Is this like the only restaurant that you go to in Centennial Hills area?
Because lately
I can't think of any others that I go to really up there.
I mean, Nataya's is great, but I just have so many Thai options closer to home that I find myself not going up there as much. Where good Mexican food is actually kind of hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
So really loved that. We had both the carne asada and the pollo asado tostadas. Really good. The thing is the plates aren't huge, which I like. So there's 3 of us. We had all of this food, and we did end up taking a little bit home, but you still don't feel like you've just been, gutted and like a glutton or anything like that. And then, of course, you have to talk about their margaritas. You talk about Margarita Day coming up. Mm-hmm. I had the pina, which I really like. It's that pineapple, so it's sweet and sour, but they kind of caramelize and roast the pineapple first, so it's got a really nice depth of flavor to it. Willow had the fresa, which is strawberries, and then John had the regular or original. Mm-hmm. I love that they do everything in-house, their syrups and everything like that, so nothing comes out cloying and overly sweet. It's not that pre-packaged plastic bottle syrup that a lot of places can have.
And everybody should know this is this restaurant in Centennial Hills is by the team that brought us $100 Lounge.
Correct, yeah.
And they are known for being people from high-end hospitality. $100 is a dive bar, but if you've ever been in there, you know that they treat everything right. They make cocktails legit. So of course they're going to bring that to Casa de Juliet. Yeah. Also, is Anthony still in the kitchen over there?
He was actually running into the kitchen as we were coming in from the parking lot.
Yeah, so. Anthony Jameson himself has taken over the kitchen, so it's a good reason to go, oh man, Chef Dante is here. We have things being dropped at the table.
Yeah, we do.
My favorite part of the show, and they're beautiful things too, almost too beautiful to eat. Okay, Chef, we are going to introduce you first to the crowd. This is your first introduction. You get to tell people a little bit about what you have just dropped at our table.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chef Dante Garcia, and I'm here at Edge right now. And right now, these are 3 of some of my dishes that I'm pretty proud of here at Edge. And we'll start off to my left. We have a foie mousse with a guava gelée and a brulee fig, kumquat confit, and a port and guava puree.
Oh my God.
Served with a fig crostini that's made in-house from our amazing pastry chef here. This is our yellowtail crudo. So the yellowtail crudo, there's 3 ounces of yellowtail inside, and it's seasoned with a little bit of espelette, sea salt, lime zest, rolled with shaved watermelon radish, and it's garnished with finger limes, shaved jalapeno, pickled watermelon radish, avocado.
Amazing.
But last but not least is the beef tartare. So the beef tartare, it has cornichon, pickled shallots, and a little bit of truffle inside. And on top, it's garnished with a little bit of shaved Parmesan cheese, bone marrow aioli, and cured egg yolk.
Damn, Chef,
Gorgeous.
you're getting us off to a fantastic start. So we're going to start munching on these, eat these. What is the sauce you're pouring on right now?
This is for the yellowtail crudo. This is for table side. This is a jalapeno lime vinaigrette.
Some jalapeno lime vinaigrette being poured.
Beautiful.
Ah, so good. So sexy. Okay, well, Chef, we're going to start eating a little bit of this. We're going to be joined by you probably another 10 or 15 minutes to chat, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, Jem, what are you digging into first?
The closest one to me is the tartare, so I'm just gonna
and I'm going foie gras, because how do you not go foie gras when people bring it to you during your work day?
Correct.
I mean, that's just, hey, what do you do for a living? I eat foie gras, these nice crispy crostinis and the fruit, and
oh my God, listen to that.
Man. That is a taste of yummy.
And I'm just doing this right onto the toast because I can.
So how's that?
It's so good. There's some mustard in there. Really light.
Okay, so here's my question with you about tartare. Mm-hmm. I usually mix all the ingredients in before I start, but you've kind of sort of left it.
I wanted to be able to taste all the different things first.
Okay.
But usually I would.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. But they've got it. I mean, there's these tiny little mushrooms on top. You get a little cheese. You get some sorrel leaves, it looks like. And there's some pickled red onion. And I just kind of like how it does its own thing.
Damn. Okay, well, see, now we got this nice long break because we're also trying to take pictures of these things, which is...
We just have people listening to us eat.
I know. This is us eating, people. Yum, yum, yum. Then there's a nice photo. Cool.
But yeah, so go to La Casa. It was fantastic. And if you do want an after meal drink, I had a carajillo with banana foam. They're kind of known for that as well. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, cool. I'm going to let you eat over there. And I'm going to, even though I am digging into a little bit of the ceviche, which is just so beautiful. And the way that it's set up is amazing. Presentation here, I have to say, these first three dishes.
Oh my God, they're gorgeous.
I mean, I'm giving the presentation on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 9.9. Seriously, it's fucking amazing. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, that fish is so fresh.
That's amazing.
I love it. Oh, beautiful.
So where have you been eating as we eat?
Yeah, as I have my mouth full. Have I mentioned this is fucking good? Okay. If you remember China Poblano interview last week, I think, with Carlos Cruz Santa, chef. It was recorded after my meal there and after we recorded the rest of this podcast. So it was one of those deals where I came on the show, I talked about my meal.
Yep.
I left a space for the interview.
Yes.
And then I went and I filled in the interview later, right? So that night when I went in to record it, I had a few more bites at the dim sum bar. Chef was running a little late or I was running a little early. I don't really remember. So they feed you, you know? That's a good way to make a living. So I want to tell you about those dishes. Assorted dim sum were great. If you're going to China Poblano, you know that you're going to get great dim sum. What really blew my mind was the tuna ceviche. And it was made with tuna, soy lime dressing, avocado, cilantro, red onion, Fresno and Serrano chilies, amaranth, which is green, right? But the thing that blew my mind, all that makes sense to me. I've had all that in the past. The thing that blew my mind, toasted pecans, however you want to say that name of that nut.
I think it depends on where you are in the country.
Yeah. Okay. So toasted nuts, right? I don't know that I've ever had toasted nuts in a ceviche before. And that one really blew me away. Yeah. Really, a more of an earthiness to that seafood dish than one would expect. It knocked my socks off when I did it. So, and I've never, I went home. I'm starting to look things up because I like to pretend I know everything, but in the long run, I'll tell you that I don't. I look a lot of things up. And I guess that's sort of more of a Mexican tradition, Northern Mexican.
Okay.
Where they'll use some nuts in ceviches, right? So, hey, fucking rock on. Go get it. If you don't believe me, go try it. You're going to love it. Last Thursday, we had 2 parties and some pasta. We started off with a big party at Chaska Indian Food on South Las Vegas Boulevard near the Bootlegger. That's Indian street food. And this was a weird night because I'm not going to give you I had to cancel this and reschedule this and move that, and people changed the times of things and all that. So I thought we were going to be eating at this party for some reason, and it turned out there were a lot of past hors d'oeuvres, but it wasn't sit down.
Okay.
So had a wonderful party. I loved this restaurant. If you want to know more about it, Bob Barnes writes a lot about it in the current issue of Food and Loathing, of his update at foodandloathing.vegas. So, my man Mike is walking in, dropping things all over. Oh, crazy Elvis sunglasses he's giving me. Okay, it's feeling good here, Mike. You're going to be joining us in about 5-10 minutes, brother. So, one of my favorite barmen. Okay, so anyway, I went to this party.
Yeah.
It's Indian. thought it was going to be sit down. Because I thought it was sit down, when Copper Sun moved their event and then invited me in for dinner afterwards, I said, no, I'm going to be sitting down. I'm going to be having dinner at these are first world problems, people, right? So then I didn't get a full dinner there. I went to Copper Sun. I had already passed on having a dinner reservation. I hung out at the grand opening party. I have to tell you, the place is beautiful. This is the new Hot Pot restaurant in Resorts World. Yeah. It's gorgeous in there. It's very, the party itself was very high energy, very active, feels like a good space. I can't wait to go back in there and actually try the hot pot. It's my fault that I didn't because I was misunderstanding things. But then, so I'm there with my wife. I kind of promised her 2 dinners that night, and we hadn't really had one dinner, right? So Sue and I dropped by Brezza.
Yeah.
And we sat down at the bar at Brezza. Very, very simple order. We just wanted the classics, right? Nicole Brisson is one of my favorite Italian chefs in the world. Usually she's doing things that are a little crazy, a little wild, but I just wanted something so fucking basic. We asked if we could get a split order of pasta pomodoro, spaghetti pomodoro. How basic, right? Like it's the most boring pasta dish, but it's the most pure pasta dish.
I was going to say, I like pure classic better than I like boring because
but you can exactly right. Yeah, but if you describe it and write it down on paper, it sounds boring, right? But it is so fucking pure when it's done right. It's just beautiful. So word up to Nicole, filling our bellies that day. Where else? Back to Resorts World the next night. Allē on 66, all the way up at the top. And Allan Roth was there to speak about the Macallan and to pour and explain some rare expressions of one of the world's most popular Scotch whiskeys. They also rolled out some cocktails, all of which are going to be available until the end of the month. I asked him why he was doing that at Allē on 66.
The lounge has one of the greatest collections of Macallan in Las Vegas and probably in the Western U.S. With bottles like the Reach, the 81-year Macallan, distilled in 1940, the Macallan Horizon bottle, our partnership with Bentley, and the Red Collection 77, just some of the oldest whiskey that we've ever made, is all here, as well as the fact that there's a great cocktail program here as well, featuring Macallan cocktails for this month. It was a great opportunity to come in and share information about the distillery, those bottles, and those cocktails with Las Vegas.
I've always learned that the better the whiskey, the less you want to put it into a cocktail. The more you just want to enjoy it, either neat or with just a drop of water. Clearly, you're using very good whiskeys here to create cocktails. So obviously, I'm wrong and you're right. But why am I wrong and you're right?
Great question and great conclusion there. So I certainly encourage everybody to taste every whiskey neat and with water, to taste kind of the full range of possibilities. But at the same time, one of the great things about the Macallan is how rich and flavorful it is, and its incredible color. And I don't know any chef that doesn't want to work with the finest ingredients that exist. Similarly, I don't know any bartender that doesn't want to work with the finest base ingredients for a cocktail. And since the majority of every cocktail is that primary ingredient, using the Macallan actually makes an incredible amount of sense because it's going to give you the most complexity. It's going to give you the greatest all-natural color from the whiskey. And so to use the Macallan in a cocktail isn't to disrespect the Macallan, it's to actually elevate the cocktail.
So obviously you have great cocktails. People want to come in here. They want to explore the Macallan. We have some very nice ones that I've tried tonight. But you also have some very cool flights on this menu. What would you recommend to somebody who really wants to get a little bit of an understanding of the different expressions?
There's some really amazing flights. One's the Prestige Indulgence Macallan flight. The other is the Art and Oak flight. And both of those feature different expressions from our Harmony series. This is a series that started 5 years ago. The expressions are harder and harder to find. And this actually includes the 2 rarest. One is the Rich Cacao, which is released in 2021. And that's on one of the flights, and a real rare opportunity to taste that expression alongside some core range Macallan, as well as the Intense Arabica, and when the other flight, which is another opportunity to taste Macallan that has hints of coffee, though it has no coffee in it. But really, for my money, the greatest feature here is that the lounge has the full M collection. So there are 3 in existence right now. There is the M Decanter, which celebrates the Macallan's 100% all-natural color. One is the Macallan M Black, which celebrates simply the concept of mastery and has some smoky notes to it. And then the other is the Macallan M Copper, which celebrates our spirit and is the only Macallan to feature virgin oak and is exclusively in all-American casks, really kind of letting the spirit itself shine through. Those 3 are some of the rarest, most prestigious Macallans available, and this is one of the rare places where you can taste all 3 in the same location.
I'm coming back with a little bit of food in my mouth, but that's okay. I went to Area 50. Oh my God, this tartare is amazing.
Yeah.
I really love the tartare. It's got a very steaky taste.
It does, right?
Like, yeah.
And those little mushrooms like just have a little pop, especially with that red onion. And yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, really beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so I went over to Area 15. Wanted to check out Interstellar Arc.
Okay.
So when I had some time to kill, we had younger people with us, right? They were kind enough to get us into Interstellar Arc. Mm-hmm. And it was fucking amazing. I know this is a food podcast, but I've never done virtual reality like to that level. Actually, I've done one on the Strip, but this was like really first in a long time that I've put on those headsets. And it's not action oriented. You're not shooting anybody. You're not doing any of this. I know I'm an old man, so this is probably like me going to something that's my age. It's really exploring. And, you know, it's done in this idea of, hey, we're in space and you're the new generation. You're going to colonize this planet. And it's all peace and love, kind of outer space sci-fi. But you walk around and you just play with shit and you can interact with things. You can grab things. They put little games into it. So I got to say, I had a fucking blast.
I'm so glad.
And the people who had hooked me up, they were kind enough to get me a comp at the grilled cheese truck, which I was going to do.
Yep.
But we finished there early. So we're like, let's go over to the other thing, right?
Yeah.
We went and we walked around. We saw other things. And I didn't want to go all the way back to the grilled cheese truck, even though it looked really fucking good. But you got to drive back and forth on that, right? And we were already on the other side of it. But I will tell you, if you're going to go there, either make a dinner reservation at one of the restaurants or go to that grilled cheese truck, because getting a seat at a table, if you just pop in on a weekend afternoon, the part 2 phase, which is where Interstellar Arc is, which is where the grilled cheese truck is, it's still relatively empty. They're going to be putting a lot of new restaurants in there. We've got Sam Marvin from Echo and Rig is going to be putting a burger spot in there. We have a lot of other stuff that's coming over there. I think the St. Honoré people are doing something. I believe Nacho Daddy is going in there. For now, it's just that grilled cheese truck, but it's empty over there and you don't have to wait and you don't have to get a reservation. So that's beautiful. If you want the sushi or if you want, you know, the beast, then make sure you call and get a reservation.
Got it.
So that's my dining report. And then finally, I dined at Xiaolong Dumplings, which has several locations. Have you been there yet? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know a lot of people really like this spot. Like a lot of people who really know some food. And, you know, I've had friends that threw parties there. I haven't been able to make it. I went to the one on Buffalo. Very crowded, but they were very good at getting people in and out. Most of the people that were there, a lot of Asian people there, right? Neighborhood Asian people. Everybody seemed very, very happy. We got in, we got out pretty quickly. I didn't like the fucking dumplings, man. Mm-mm. Both the Xiaolong Bao and the Shumai were super gummy to me. And you picked them up, they stretched almost like fucking chewing gum. You know, on the Xiaolong Bao, you want to almost make that little hole in the top, right? You pull off the hole in the top so that all the steam can get out and you don't burn your mouth.
Right.
I couldn't fucking do that, but it didn't really matter because there wasn't that fucking hot inside to begin with. So, I mean, the tastes were fine. But I'm really disappointed because I've heard so many great things about it. It's a cool neighborhood vibe. They are in multiple neighborhoods. This is over in Buffalo. I don't know if I feel like I have to go back and give them another try.
Fair.
But really disappointed for the first time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I was not a fan.
Not a fan.
Yeah. We have so many options for XLB in this town, and I really wanted to love it because, again, people that I trust with food told me I needed to go try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a third time will be a charm, but
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's not where I'm going to go to.
And we're eating such good food right now.
I know.
Like, I don't even want to talk about that other stuff. So, okay, here's it. That's about it for now. We have a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to be joined, later in the show. We've got a happy hour report for National Margarita Day. Like I said, we've got news. First, we're going to be joined by Edge Steakhouse's Chef Dante Garcia and barman Mike Thompson. They're both going to sit down with us in just a minute. But first, we need to take a break. We need to eat more of this food. We will be back shortly. This is Food and Loathing. We are back, and we are back. First of all, we've been eating. We're stuffed.
Yeah.
This food is delicious, and we're going to talk about all of that in a second. But we are joined right now by Chef Dante. Chef, how are you? We got you mic'd up now. You're not just leaning into my mic.
I'm here.
Yes, great. Dude, this food is so fucking great.
Oh, my God.
Okay, really, really, absolutely amazing. And I have to say, it's all beautiful to look at.
Mm-hmm.
It is all elevated to these are all classic dishes. We've got a foie gras, we've got a steak tartare, we've got a would you call that a ceviche or a crudo
yellowtail crudo?
Yellowtail crudo. None of them look like a basic simple version. They are gorgeous to look at. If you're if you're Instagrammers, come over here. You're going to want to bring all your lights and do all that shit. It looks fucking great. They all taste elevated because you've brought more elements than the traditional elements, and yet they all stick close to what they're supposed to be.
Yep.
And that is really, really hard, Chef. It is hard to be creative and elevate things to a new level and still keep their souls intact. And I have to tell you, that's what I'm most impressed with the dishes I've had here now.
Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. Some of my favorite things to do are take classics and put a twist on it, or try to be creative and do something out of the box, try to represent myself as a chef and all of my previous mentors.
Cool.
As well.
And we're going to talk about all those mentors in just a minute, if you're okay with that. But first, sitting down next to you, we have my man, Mike Thompson. And I wanted Mike here. We never have bar people on this show unless it's a dedicated bar show.
It's an honor.
Sue and I have been coming to this restaurant on and off. I mean, I'm going to be honest. We don't come in here all the time. But if we are anywhere near this, I mean, if we're in the building, of course. We're in the convention center, of course. Sometimes if we're just in Sahara and, we're like, let's go find a cool bartender, will come over here. We have been coming here to sip at your bar for probably 10, 15 years. I don't know how long you've been
10.
here. 10? Okay. And dude, you to me are the classic Vegas hotel bartender, or the classic, there's something about being a good hotel and convention hotel bartender. And that means your regular customers. They know you. They may only see you like once a year, like I may only see you once a year, but you know who they are. You know what they drink. You know their stories. They know your story. There's something really legit about that. And I know a couple other great bartenders like that. But you are really at that heart of that. Could you talk about what it means, the difference between being a bartender in a place like this and being in a bartender, just about everywhere else? But first, tell me what this bottle is you just brought out here.
Yeah.
It's, what is it? It's 1:45. So I figured I'd bring out a bottle of Pappy 23-year-old so as we could all have a little toast.
Yeah, well, cheers. Pappy 23.
Cheers. Thank you.
It's 501
Cheers.
somewhere.
Screw my liver.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Al. I love what I do. I don't want to give you no cheesy answers. It's just, I've been doing this a long, long time. You can't be robotic about it. You just genuinely got to love what you do. And I love coming behind the stick every day. And I've been doing it for 30 plus years. I got regulars that'll come into the bar here at the Westgate at the Edge. And they're like, hey, man, remember me from 3 years ago? I haven't a clue.
Well, you're a good
really
faker,
don't.
man,
I really
because
don't
it
have a
seems
clue,
like you know everybody.
But I like to say, you're only a stranger once, is a saying that I like to use with us here at Edge Bar. And I think people feel that because we're all genuine here. I mean, there's people that have been working here for 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. I opened this bar 10 years ago. We're all different characters, but we're all pretty genuine. I mean, I'm the same guy behind the bar as I am when I leave the bar. for the most part. I mean, you need watch your P's and Q's when we got certain guests
Sure.
in them. We got to cater to them, but I'm the same cat.
And
That
you know
speaks
what?
a lot. Sorry, I was just going to say that speaks a lot to when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, do you remember me?" Because you've obviously made an impression. You've been part of the experience, and that is huge, especially when we see how many millions of visitors a year, and they remember this bar, this guy, this night. That's fantastic.
I'm kind of old school. I mean, from day one, I've handed out my phone number to our guests who have become friends. Mm-hmm. And on any given night, that whole bar's got reserve signs on it. I mean, I don't know if it was a bit of a hindrance or that afterthought, but I'll get
I know.
calls.
I always feel bad when I'm walking through, but you always find a spot for me. I appreciate that.
I'll get calls.
Remind me to
Mikey,
get Mike's number.
Yeah.
You got it. But it's the simple things like that. Mikey, I need 4 at the bar. Can you get me tickets for Mandela? We need 2 at the bar. It's a Friday. It's 4:45. We're 50 minutes about to open. You do what you can and you make it happen.
I came in here one night. I was next door at the convention center. They were giving out, I'm just going to brag here, they were giving out Vegas Press Awards. And for some reason, the RJ, who doesn't seem to like me since I left, but they liked me that day and they nominated me, which blew my mind. And so I went over there and I won. And I came to hang out at Mike's bar. And there's Barry Manilow, and I'm a big Barry Manilow fan. People don't believe it, but it's very, very true. Barry Manilow's road manager is sitting there, right? And so we left the awards early. I got my award in my hand and I was all happy. And he's like, "Oh, this is Barry's, manager." She's like, "You want to come to tonight's show?"
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Of course I do, man. And it's wild because that place, like, people are just at that bar because to explain to people, when you leave the convention center and walk through to the Westgate, the first thing you see that is not convention space is the dry aging meat in the wall of Edge Steakhouse, and then you see the bar, right? And so you are, after a long day of being full of shit at the convention center, you are people's first chance to just, sit down and relax and have a good time. And you bring this New York attitude.
I recognize that too, though. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, please.
I recognize that. It was like back in New York, because I just remember you said that. When I was working for Gordon Ramsay, just to shoot one out there, I'd see visitors coming to the bar. They're in New York for the first time, like they're in Vegas for the first time, and their eyes are just kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
up. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to be a part of that ride.
Yeah.
And I just automatically want to be a part of that ride. Again, without being robotic about it. Hey, how you doing?
Exactly.
I'm Mikey. Hey, you're Tom, Jennifer. Hey, what's going on? Let's have a good time. I don't have the fanciest cocktail menu in town. That's a given. I'm okay with that. Keep it simple.
Yep.
Give them what they want. And let's be a part of the
And you got
club
23-year-old Pappy Van Winkle, so
I
like,
got
good tools to mix a cocktail, man. God damn it. Another sip of that. I like your New York attitude because it's a lot of the people that I've known that I think are like great hotel barmen, they have, even some of them, like one from Italy that I know, right? And like they have a very elevated vibe. And I know you're an elevated guy. You have elevated taste, but you ride a motorcycle. You got that New York attitude, and there's something really special about sitting at your bar. So that's why I wanted to have you in here and
really
recognize that. So
really
thank you so much for coming, waking up early for us today.
You can tell.
Yeah, right. Now I'm going to sip the rest of this. I'm going to talk to Chef Dante for a little while, right? We got to talk to
Absolutely.
Chef. But Mike, man, thanks so much for getting up early for us today.
Man, without a doubt. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you.
So Chef Mike's been here for 10 years. How long have you been here?
2 years will mark on the 22nd of February.
Cool. Well, congratulations on that.
Happy
That's my wife's
anniversary.
birthday. Yeah. So, wow. Very cool. Maybe we'll come in for her birthday weekend.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. So that's right around now. So this is going to be your 2-year anniversary. What were you doing prior to that?
Prior to that, I worked on the Strip for about 8 years. I worked at Wynn. I worked at Botero Steakhouse. Opened up Jardin as well. Then I went over to Caesars at the Paris. I was opening chef for Vanderpump Paris.
Cool. That Vanderpump menu was so much fucking better than I expected it to be when I went into that place. I was like, oh my God, it's a reality show fucking restaurant and blah, blah, blah. And they're serving me things in bird cages. And then I was like, holy fuck, this food is really good, man. So bravo to you there.
I had to ask somebody when that opened, what's a Vanderpump and why does it have rules? But I enjoyed eating and drinking there.
Yeah. And then you came over here.
So I worked at, I was I was floating around everywhere during that time. So I worked at Gordon Ramsay Steak, BLT Steak, Jack Binion's, Martha Stewart Bedford as well during my time there.
Oh, wow.
So that was about 8 years. And then I came over here exactly 2 years now. So
what's the difference between working at a place like Gordon Ramsay Steak, which is also, by the way, the best Gordon Ramsay restaurant in Las Vegas by far? I mean, not hands down, it is the best.
I agree.
What's the difference working in a steakhouse like that, which is super high profile, everybody in the world knows it, and then working at a place like this, which is high quality, but I feel this is like a workhorse convention center. People aren't coming to take the picture with the chef here, right? So how's the different vibe?
A few things is here at Edge, which is one of the reasons why I think this is truly a dream job. I have 100% creative freedom. When you start working for, a Gordon Ramsay or a Daniel Boulud, they have their chef corporate teams that you have to come in and do tastings for, and they can throw your dishes in the trash, and you wouldn't truly be able to represent yourself. Not saying that they would, but here, 100%. These are my dishes, and I'm in full control of these as well.
So you've been here 2 years. How much of what's on the menu now was here when you got here, and how much have you put your own stamp on it?
I'd say it took a first year to really get this menu to where I kind of wanted. Along with seasonal menu changes that we do as well. Like the beef tartare doesn't come off the menu. The yellowtail doesn't come off the menu. So these were, the beef tartare was one of the first dishes I changed. I think the first menu change I did was about 12 menu items. And I just try to keep building from there. We added on a caviar presentation. I felt like we needed some sort of crudo aspect here as well. So
cool. As I said, the first thing you mentioned, if you notice, if you're coming from the convention center, is that dry aging window into your dry aging room. And I remember when that was built here, I actually remembered that the chef at the time walking me through there. Not a lot of places dry age their beef on premises in this town. That program was in effect when you got here. Was that something new you needed to learn, or were you like thrilled to get a place that's actually aging their own meat? I wish I had more space. I wish I can dry age all my steaks. The best part about it is there's no middleman. I load it in there myself. I pull it out myself. I cut it myself. So I can tell you exactly how long it's been in the room. Versus there's kind of a gray area if you're buying from somebody else. And, it might be that day, but it might not. But there's no gray area when you're dry aging it yourself. Okay. Steak, I'm assuming, is the primary part of the menu here, right?
Yes,
but
sir.
What other influences do you draw on? I mean, is this a purely American steakhouse, or are you throwing in French twists and Asian twists and things like that?
Absolutely. It is definitely, American steakhouse, but my background is French trained, and some of the best flavor profiles are I believe Asian as well. So try to create a fusion and still show my style. I feel like is the best results I can provide.
Cool. What's the best cut of beef on this menu?
I was just going to ask.
I'm going to have to say the chef cut is the dry ribeye. So my favorite chef cut is dry age. However, our best cut on this menu is the Wagyu strip loin, full blood stone axe, which we'll be trying later.
Cool. And I'm assuming you source your beef from some pretty decent providers here.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I want to talk a little bit about the dry aging program. Do you have a standard number of days that you do?
Correct.
I've played with it, and I've done anything from a month to we pulled one at like almost a year. That was insane. But how do you play with each steak to figure out what works better for each one? Do you just have like sort of standard that you follow for everything?
So our only dry steak that we do in house are ribeyes.
Okay.
So we do a 40-day minimum on there. So it can carry from 40 to 50 days, and then we're cutting. So I'm actually dry aging some steaks right now. I'm trying to hit 120 days and then just do those as a cut for specials. So
absolutely.
We're creeping up to 100 days. So
fun.
we're not too far away.
Oh my God.
Man.
I want to be here when you cut that 120 because watching that is amazing.
Yeah. So do you embrace the funk that comes with dry aging? Because I know some people who say like, it's dry aged, but it doesn't taste funky. And then I'm like, well, why why am I paying for dry aging?
Right.
I agree 100%. I absolutely love dry aged steak.
Do you ever do things with like koji and whiskey and any of those other things that people are doing, or are you just strictly just straight up dry aging? Just the air?
No, just straight dry age in the air. We use the salt blocks in the room.
Cool. Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, okay. Tell me once we get out of steak, right? Because some steakhouses, they do steaks perfectly, but they don't give a shit about their chicken. They throw something on that they don't really care about. Maybe they throw a pork chop on. How are you guys when I come in here and maybe I'm not necessarily in the mood for beef? What else? How are you going to rock my world?
I'm going to have to go with fish. So we will always have a salmon on our menu, and we're using Ora King salmon as well, but we change the menu seasonally so we'll change the sets on those. So right now we're doing a Thai snapper set as well, but that'll probably change to a different fish. So
cool. Okay, so we've also been joined. Mike has handed off the microphone, and I didn't write your name down, and now I'm forgetting it. Introduce yourself.
Richard Douglas.
Cool.
Most people just call me Dick.
Okay. Well, yeah, people call me that too. My name's Al. So Richard, I wanted to talk. We're talking about all the great food. I know you're in charge of the wine collection here. You're also the GM of the restaurant, I believe, right?
And a head busboy.
Okay. Well, there you go. You got all the things. So let's talk about the wine program here, because you have a great steakhouse and you have a great chef. You want to have great things to accompany with. I know a lot of us are just going to drink the Pappy Van Winkle, but what do you have for people that are a little classier than I am?
Well, I don't know. Right off the bat,
I was going to say, what is in front of us?
This is the Henriot Lantuna Day, which is a new release. It's 2018, All Grand Cru from Reims. They're actually upstairs right now tasting me on it. I thought you might like tasting.
Wow. It's going to be wasted on my palate.
I get to go to Reims in May. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm jealous. Just to see the church.
Oh
my God, that's beautiful.
Oh my God.
So beautiful.
Great acidity. Anyway, when I started, we had about 200 labels. Cammie, who is the president of the hotel, challenged me to bring her, the basic Wine Spectator Award. Mm-hmm. So the first year we got the Best of Award of Excellence, which is level 2, entirely skipped number 1.
Wow.
We're up to about 575 labels now.
Wow.
I'm very proud of it.
So that is 2 out of 3 cups by Wine Spectator, which is an incredibly high honor for people to understand. Just getting one, you have to submit, you have to have people review it. They look at your wine list, they see how creative it is. You've got to pay to be submitted, I believe, so that they'll even bother taking a look. There's 1 cup, great honor. 2 cups, much, much, much higher honor. And then 3 cups, almost unheard of. I think in the old days, we used to have 5 restaurants here in Las Vegas that got them every year. I don't know. That would have been like the Robichons and the Arioles, which isn't even in business anymore. So I don't know who gets that anymore. But so, getting a 2 glasses award from Wine Spectator is pretty fucking major. So congratulations on that. And definitely demonstrates that you have some depth to the wine list. You're not just throwing out like the basics.
You have to have every region of the world represented, and you have to be smart in the way it's represented. The hardest thing is spelling. Everything's spelled right. If it's not there, you lose.
Oh, wow. That's hard, man, especially when you're sipping wine all day. You got to remember how to spell shit. Cool. So, okay, here's a question. I'd like to ask this because not everybody comes in and they want to spend the most money in the world on wine. There used to be, and I do not know wine, right? So I just asked my sommelier, this is how much money I have to spend. Let's keep it within this. And I'm not afraid to say that. A lot of people are afraid to say that. A lot of, there used to be a trick when I was young. It was like, order the second least expensive thing, right? Because maybe they'll have some crap. But I've actually learned since then that usually the least expensive is great, because for a good sommelier to put it on the menu, it has to be really fucking good. But tell me 1 or 2, let's say I'm coming in for steak. We're doing red meat. Tell me a good kind of value wine pick.
Well, I try to have the best bottle of wine at every price point. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. If I don't believe in it, it's not on my list. Now, there's a few things on there that you have to have, unfortunately, that it's not that there's anything wrong with them. I just don't necessarily think the value's there.
Okay.
And I'm not going to throw out names, but, I do have things that I love, and there's a few things that I champion, and the prices on them are unbelievably good just because I really like the winemaker or.
So unbelievably good price. What would be a price on a bottle?
For example, I've got. I used to work for my Italian Joe Bastianich, so I've got Joe Bastianich's La Mozza I Prazzi Cabernet. It's super Tuscan, and I've got it on the list for $50.
Wow.
It's a great bottle of wine. It's not something you're to write home about.
No, but a $50 bottle of wine
really
in a Las Vegas casino is like hard to begin with. I mean, I'm expecting Boone's Farm if I see that price
God.
point, you know?
I'm
You guys all
17
drank
again.
Boone's Farm at one point, right?
Yeah.
I know Mike has.
I'm 17 again, trying to hide it from my folks.
And your philosophy of talking to the Psalm is actually the smartest thing. Because, I mean, Psalms want to look smart. So they're not going to try to sell you something they don't think you're going to love.
Right.
We want to look good and we want you to have a good time. So, there it is.
What is your process like when you guys are working together? So when he's working on new stuff for the menu and, Dante, you've got this list and do you taste together and try a bunch of stuff? Do you have some stuff in mind that you think will already kind of go with what he's building? How does that work when you guys are working together?
Well, there's always a basis for what's going to work because, these things are grounded in history.
Yeah.
And I understand a lot of his process already because, as you mentioned, he leans towards French with a little bit of Venetian influence. So you try to balance those things out. And then we talk about flavors, and the flavors that he doesn't necessarily mention predominantly are usually the things that I'm trying to seek out, because if there's something that I think might be a niche for me to slide in and make the wine also pop, that's where it really comes in.
Yeah, because the wine will absolutely pop certain ingredients and maybe not others. So coming to that decision.
That's the funnest part of it.
Yeah.
I love doing that part.
Chef, for you, are you a wine guy and do you enjoy the collaborative process?
I do. And Richard's wine knowledge is really, really amazing when you hear him talk about wines. So just kind of like he said, when we do our tastings, he's pairing wines. We're trying multiple wines. So the entire process is pretty precise, and I do enjoy it.
Cool. I got to ask, and this is just a completely out of left field question, but we're coming to the end. I'm just going to ask a really stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. This place has been around forever. It was the International Hotel. It was the home to Elvis Presley. By the way, the 3 Sky Suites, Sky Villas that are at the top of this place, my brother is like the most fabulous gay guy in San Francisco, and I convinced him to have his wedding. I mean, he lives on Castro Street, right? The gay.
Oh,
so he's like,
that's my hometown. You're speaking to the choir.
And so I took him to like the Nobu Villas. I took him to the Hugh Hefner Sky Villas, all this stuff. And I said, but before we do, we've got to go to Westgate because they've got these rooms up there that are just unbelievable. I love this building. I love the ghosts that walk around this building. The Westgate family has its own stories. My brother loves that because the Queen of Versailles and things like that. But are there any ghosts in this building? Have you ever seen, any of you guys ever seen a ghost or a spirit of Elvis or anything? I told you it was a stupid fucking question.
I thought you were just making a joke about me being so white.
But no, man, like, hey, besides, yeah, but the truth is, how do you feel about the history of this place? That's what it really comes down to.
Please.
It's pretty iconic, and it's an honor to be here, and it's just truly amazing to be part of history and continue to, showcase of what we do here.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, so I've seen
you're a
building my
unicorn.
entire life.
Yeah.
I remember. The thing I miss most about this property was the old Hilton sign that was at the very top.
Yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would bounce all the way around. I could stare at that for hours when I was a kid riding in the back seat. It was just fun. And, this property, it's always been, the class of Las Vegas. We need to bring it back there, and under the leadership we have, that's what they want,
Cool.
And I think we're on our way.
Okay, and other shout outs, you've got, of course, one of the 2 Benihana's in Las Vegas here. Definitely, my brother had them up in his suite. He had representatives of Benihana and representatives of McDonald's, and also Grant McPherson at the time, who put together a total menu. So this is the kind of joint that this place is, man. You can do absolutely everything. Guys, thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for your time. I appreciate having all of you here. I love the restaurant, Edge Steakhouse in the Westgate, right next to the convention center. No reason not to come here, whether you're local or you're a visitor. It's just fucking fantastic.
It is.
So coming up, we've got a happy hour report in the news. This is Food and Loathing.
Need a restaurant recommendation? Then you need Neon Feast. the most convenient, most comprehensive, and most trustworthy collection of Las Vegas restaurant recommendations on the internet. Veteran food journalist Al Mancini, whom you might remember from, listening to this podcast, asked the city's top chefs, restaurateurs, critics, journalists, and influencers for their favorite spots in more than 100 categories. Why take the advice of an anonymous online wannabe or a paid influencer? Neon Feast will tell you where people in the industry send their family and friends for a great date night, to watch a big game, or get a taste of Old Vegas. Looking for a great steakhouse? You want a great burger? Maybe a little caviar? Need a place in Summerlin South, the Arts District, or Seven Hills? Las Vegas brings the neon. Local foodies provide the feast at neonfeast.com or the Neon Feast mobile app.
Yeah, you know what time it is. We are creeping up on the news, but before we get to the news, it is time to talk about happy hours, our weekly happy hour report from Happy Hour Vegas's Andrew Morgan. Andrew, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, man. I've just, my mind is wondering what we may be drinking or eating for cheap this week.
Well, so this Sunday, February 22nd, is National Margarita Day.
I love that, National Margarita Day, right?
It's a thing. Yeah. So, and to that, let me preface that. I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Frozen or on the rocks?
It depends. If I'm sitting by a pool, I want frozen. But, if I'm sitting in a bar on the rocks, if I'm sitting in a bar that has good tequila, I may try a good tequila in an on the rocks margarita. I would never in a million years try a good tequila in a frozen margarita.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that one. And having a good sipping tequila, that's completely different from margaritas altogether. But anyways, so there is research, and I've done the research. It's a tough fucking job, but I did it. 67% of us prefer frozen margaritas instead of on the rocks.
I don't like the brain freeze, man. You got that straw, and then it gets to the top of your mouth, and then you got a headache.
Exactly. So there's, look, I support both. And I think, this is Vegas, right? So
we want diversity in our margaritas.
Yeah. In most cities, National Margarita Day is a novelty. In Vegas, it's a way of life. So I support both for sure. But speaking of, I've got a short list. So first of all, I have a category in happyhourvegas.com. It's Mexican, and that's amazing. We've got 49 cantinas, restaurants, upscale, all the way to the taco joints that all have some form of variation of margarita to use to celebrate National Margarita Day with a happy hour prices. So that's pretty cool. But I did have a short list that I wanted to share with you guys today.
Okay, so are these happy hours that you're talking about, are they only on National Margarita Day, or are they regular happy hours that just happen to fall also on National Margarita Day?
A little of both. These are happy hours every day, all day that they have, or not all day, but during happy hours throughout the year. And then there's a few of them that have special deals going on for National Margarita Day.
Okay, so hit me with some good ones, man.
Yeah, so look, there's kind of I'll say a latecomer, but someone who had happy hour once upon a time, took it back, and now they've resurfaced their program. That's at the Sahara, Uno Mas Street Tacos and Spirits. So they have $5 Uno Mas margaritas. It's made with a premium tequila, all of that good stuff. So it's pretty high end. I give it 3 lemon squeezes. Pretty good.
Okay, out of how many lemons?
3 lime squeezes out of 5.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I'm going to say, why are you squeezing lemons in your margarita anyway?
Hey, you like my ranking methodology? Margarita ranking day methodology. Second on that list, Taco Escobar. Have you been there lately? Or?
Taco Escobar, where is that? It's hitting a name, but I'm forgetting it.
Yeah, Fremont, just on the corner of Boulevard.
Okay, right. Okay, cool. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so they have happy hour every day, 3 to 6 p.m. And they've got a really good happy hour, by the way. $20, all you can eat tacos. 2 tacos and a beer for like $8 and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. But yeah, they have a $6 Lucha Libre Margarita, which is just really pretty exceptional. Just to drop in and have that margarita is pretty cool.
Okay, and I'll remind people the food there is done by the same people that do Evil Pie right across the street from Taco Escobar, so they know what they're doing.
And that's why I gave it 5 limes.
5 limes, all right. How many bits of cilantro?
That's a whole different category in itself. The other one here, Nacho Daddy. So Nacho Daddy is obviously, they have Nacho Daddy Day, December 18th, all that good stuff. But they also are celebrating National Margarita Day with a buy one, get one offer on on the Margarita Day on Sunday itself across all 3 locations here in Vegas. So it's a good deal. But during the regular happy hour, and they have 2 happy hours every day, it is $5 for the house margarita. So that's a win. I give it a 3-line.
Okay, man. Well, that sounds great. Now we have places that people could celebrate the holiday. Any more before we got to run?
Got 2 more real quick ones for you. Our favorite, Chef Paco Alebrijes, also on Fremont at Neonopolis. I give that one a 5-lime wedge. That's a good one. Because everything there is fresh, really, really good, substantial stuff. And then, of course, you'd be remiss if you didn't include Husong's. Husong's also has, for celebrating National Margarita Day, all of this week, February 22nd, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, $5 margaritas. And they have a margarita of the day, so you're kind of like changing it up every day, so you can go in there every day and be surprised. Also, 4 lime wedges.
Okay, that sounds great. You always bring the great happy hours here to Food and Loathing. Where can people find more happy hour news from you, and how can they get on your newsletter? How can they go to your website, etc.?
happyhourvegas.com. There you go. We're there 24/7. We update things as often as we can, pretty much every day. We have a category every week that we put out there. This week is National Margarita Day with our Mexican category. And definitely sign up for the newsletter. It's free. We send it out once a week. There's no shit in there. It's just all of the stuff that we've curated, we think is the great happy hours of the week, like National Margarita Day.
Okay, man. Thank you for your time. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, brother. I'll speak to you.
Chef Dante is back with us. Please tell me, what have you just dropped? Because I am drooling.
Well, you can't come to a steakhouse and not try this steak.
Fair.
So I need to make sure that you try 2 of my favorite steaks here. Before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about my favorite dish on the menu and kind of what the inspiration came from this one.
Yeah.
So this is a Spanish octopus with this citrus gel, pickled sweet peppers, shaved Easter radish.
Oh my God.
It says smoked saffron potato cloud with a smoked pimenton piquillo puree. So it's heavy Spanish influence, and this is a homage to the great Ferran Adrià.
Oh,
so
yes.
I need to pay tribute to the legends.
Oh my God.
I like this for the simplicity of the dish, and I want the dish to speak for itself.
Amazing.
Right? So that's kind of was the vision.
Okay, and tell me about these 2 steaks.
So these are the 2 steaks that are my personal favorite. So we'll start on the right. So this is the dry age ribeye on here. So this one right here.
This one here? I'm going to take a bite while you're talking.
Get it, Al.
Again.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that cook.
Minimum of 40 days on there. And then we brush it with the dry age towel that we make in house as well. Served to the left of that is our 9+ Stone Axe Wagyu strip loin.
Oh my God.
Honestly, one of the best cuts I've ever had, and it's so tender. I prefer ribeyes over strips. However, this one, the marbling is just out of this world. It's so tender you can eat it with a spoon.
How did you come to find Stone Axe? Because that's not one I've heard before. So obviously, when you're doing your resourcing and trying to find things, what brought you to that particular?
Well, I've used Stone Axe in the past.
Okay.
Stone Axe was on the menu, so I was really happy to see that.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in Stone Axe, and just the quality of that speaks for itself.
And that's Australian, you said?
That's Australia.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God. And just to describe the plate.
It's gorgeous.
We've got
it smells
roasted
delicious.
garlic. There's a pepper over there, some mushrooms, maitake, it looks like, some char on. Oh my God.
Cipollini onions.
Look at that.
Look at it from that angle.
Are my favorite. One of my girlfriends calls them onion candy when I roast them up for her. So amazing. Chef, thank you. This is phenomenal. We're going to start getting into our happy hour report.
No, we just had the happy hour report. You forgot.
Yeah. I'm boggled. We got
next? We got our Hearthstone interview coming up next.
Yes.
Right?
We have, yes.
So we're going to eat, because this is a nice 9-minute interview. So we're going to eat this beef while it's going on. Is that cool?
That's absolutely. Let's do that.
And that octopus. Fuck yeah, that beautiful octopus. Okay. Anyway, here's the short story on the Hearthstone interview.
Please.
I talked about going to the grand opening last week. I talked about eating some of the food there last week, but I did not actually have an interview. So we finally got an interview with Chef Jason Janson. He's the executive chef at Hearthstone. I basically said, how's it been since you opened? How you been back? And we had this conversation.
It's been great. I mean, you can tell how much this concept and restaurant meant to the people of Las Vegas and Summerlin. I mean, even before I got here, I was, when people were asking where I was going after I left my last spot, all of the feedback that I got from everyone was, "Oh my God, we're so excited. We used to go there all the time, blah, 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 blah." So, it has been overwhelmingly positive. We've been, packed to the gills the whole time we've been open. So, first world problems. I've been very, very busy, which is a good problem to have. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's great. Congratulations. You touched on it, right? And everybody wants to know, okay, it's coming back. And some people are so excited that Hearthstone's coming back. I'm very happy to have it back. I like what I'm seeing here. But the question behind that is, people say, why did it go away in the first place? Was it not working? Was it not the right time? Has the neighborhood changed? What is it?
Yeah, okay, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but the overwhelming the information that I've gotten has been that, our contract was up. It seems like there was a lot of overlap between concepts in the building and, ownership wanted to try something different and put a new type of cuisine in. You had a lot of Americana floating through between Steakhouse, Yard House, and Old Hearthstone. And I think that they just wanted to diversify their offerings. And then, it came to bear that people just really liked Hearthstone, and it didn't matter that there was overlap. And so the demand to bring it back was such to, it's not that it was an unsuccessful restaurant. It's just, timing and the desire to give more diversity in offerings to the guest were the reasons for closing, not that it was a failing or struggling or even mediocre restaurant. It was doing very, very well. It had built a strong following over the course of almost a decade. So
it seems to me that the time may be a little better now, just because I see how these neighborhoods have kind of blown up. And I think Hearthstone, to me, always did something that was very smart. It was elevated for what it was. It seems to fit the kind of upper class, know what they're talking about neighborhood here at Red Rock. And I feel like the entire Summerlin area has gotten a little smarter. I think it's gotten as smart as this restaurant now.
Okay, so from my point of view, I did spend about 6 months in this building when I first started working for Mark Vetri, and so I got to know the clientele here a bit. What I see is that Red Rock specifically, even in the stations world, has the most local following and feels more like a locals hotel. And with that, you see the same faces multiple times a week, and you see these repeat guests that are looking for like a home base to be like, oh, let's go have drinks here, let's go have have happy hour snacks here, let's have dinner here, let's have a birthday dinner here. And so with that, Hearthstone, with the, again, diversity of offerings that are on the menu here, you have all these familiar favorites with the Americana stuff. You have a little bit of European influence here. You have a little of this and that. There's something for everyone on this menu. And so with the combination of people wanting to, have that home-based restaurant that is in their locals spot where they hang out with their friends and their friends hang out, this really eclectic menu kind of lends itself to being that home base.
Let's talk about that menu, because you've used the word Americana, and I think that's a very good word to describe the vibe in here. But what is the menu like? For somebody that says, I never went to Hearthstone the first time around, now I hear it's back, everybody's excited about it. What can I eat over there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that someone asked me, like, if you had to describe it in 2 words, I said, elevated Americana, which I think is like the most simple way of putting it. I think that they're, when you look at things like fried chicken, mac and cheese, and French dip and all that stuff, like they're these things that you see that are ubiquitous on all of these menus, burgers. When you go into a place that has one of those something for everyone menus, in the United States, you see these dishes pop up, prime rib, rotisserie chicken, all of that stuff. So we kind of focus on building the core of the menu with these really familiar items to where people who aren't necessarily in the know with food can come in and see something identifiable and want to order that because they're in a comfort zone. But then you have these more esoteric things that they can, maybe branch out and be like, okay, well, I'm going to get the mac and cheese sticks and the penne pasta, which I know those words. But then there's also like, stuffed dates with chorizo and piquillo sauce. It's like, oh, I don't know any of that. Like, I want to try that. And then
good dish, by the way. I just had it the other day.
Thank you. Yeah. That definitely speaks to the time I spent working with Jose. So, I mean, and there, there's a little bit of, there's a lot of European influence like throughout there. I've worked in French, Spanish, and Italian kitchens like my whole career. So obviously that stuff is gonna show up. But ultimately we wanted to make that approachable food that people who aren't in the know can come in and not feel overwhelmed by the menu.
It's always weird. I don't necessarily want to give my thoughts on it when I'm doing an interview with the chef, but one thing that this restaurant kind of screams to me, if I were going to come up with one word that the decor yells out to me, it would be artisanal. And I know it's an overused word, right? But I look at the pizza ovens and I expect good pizzas to come out of them, right? I look at the way you have your raw bar set up and I expect that there are going to be quality ingredients. There's a big difference in Americana where you can walk into a place and go, oh, this looks like it's the TGI Friday idea of Americana. And here I feel like this is the craft beer version of Americana, the artisanal pizza version of Americana.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on the right track for the philosophy of food in this place, and beverage for that matter. I've said to everyone that will listen that my philosophy on cooking is because of my Italian background, and that is, buy quality ingredients and then get out of their way. And the biggest thing with that is, I've seen chefs, overcomplicate things, and there's 15 different ingredients trying to mask substandard quality. Someone asked me one time, why does Macaroni Grill suck and your food's great? And I said, because you can't make good Italian food off the back of a Cisco truck. Yeah. So, we're sourcing excellent beef, we're sourcing excellent seafood, we're sourcing excellent produce, excellent cheeses, and when you do that, it makes your job easier because you're just cooking them properly. You're seasoning them to taste just like an elevated version of it. Green vegetables, it's like olive oil, salt, pepper. You don't need more, right. And so from an artisanal standpoint, there are artisanal cheeses. We are making dough from scratch. We're making all of our sauce work is from scratch. Our meat program, we have custom blend just into our smash burger. If you are taking yourself seriously and you're charging a little bit more for the food and you're in an elevated atmosphere with craft cocktails and all of the things, then you owe it to your clientele to be going the extra mile with finding quality ingredients.
A couple other things we could talk about. I think your bar program here is very good. I think, I don't know much about wine, but you seem to be taking wine very seriously. So that all deserves to be mentioned. But I guess before we close, the vibe of this place, you have a shuffleboard table. It's not curling, there's no ice, but you've got a shuffleboard table. You have what looks like communal areas, people to just hang out, maybe meet a neighbor. You have a great lounge. I feel like this place is much about socializing and hanging out after dinner, before dinner, meeting people, meeting friends, as it is about coming in for a meal.
100%. And I think that kind of harkens to the philosophy of Click Hospitality in general. I mean, the company was sort of founded, birthed out of the nightclub and lounge world, and the restaurants have sort of been add-ons to that, as far as I can make of it. And I think that socialization element is very, very, very important to senior leadership and ownership of the company. And so it's not an afterthought. It's not let's develop a menu and let's make some money off of some food. It's that let's create places that people want to be and want to hang out in, and also serve them great food and drink while they're there.
And back to the news. Breza's chef Nicole Brisson has invited Hell's Kitchen winner and Main Street Provision chef Ellie Parker to collaborate with her on a one-night-only Girls with Game dinner. Now, we know they both got game.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, they got all sorts of game.
Girls got game.
But there's a meaning to this. Game meats we're talking about.
I'm sold.
So you start off 4-dish welcome reception, followed by 5 courses of 5 game meats plus dessert, March 12th. And when I say they're doing game meats, man, they're serious about fucking game meats. Okay, some people would be like, oh yeah, it's a game meat dinner. We had some wild boar, which is great. I'll fucking do that any day of the week. But this dinner, I'm looking at the menu. We've got rabbit. We have venison. We have duck. There's some goat on there.
Yes.
There's some, which I don't really know if it's a game because I don't know anybody that hunts goat, but it's still fucking good, and I love goat. There's bison on there. There's quail on there. There's lamb on there. The whole meal, $175 per person, plus a 20% tip, right?
My God.
Nicole and I have been chatting about this for a little while. Nicole was so supportive of Ellie Parker while she was on Hell's Kitchen that she came out for the finale to see if she won. And so she and I were talking while we were sitting together at that finale, and she told me about this dinner, but it hadn't been announced yet. So it's finally been announced. I dropped by Ellie's place yesterday, and I asked her to tell me about it.
So Chef Nicole actually reached out to me a little while back about doing like an opportunity of us collabing, and her being one of my biggest inspirations, I about lost it. But I'm so excited. I think the theme of it, like us doing game meat, girls with game, you know, just both of us working in steakhouses, taking that pride in meat. I think it'll be a really cool event for people to try. The menu is incredible, and I'm really looking forward to this collab.
And the Palms has renamed its food court and added a few outlets. The area is now known as Quick Bites.
Okay.
And the 2 additions, apparently targeting the Valley's large Hawaiian-born population and the many Hawaiian visitors we get over here.
We are the 9th island.
We are. And the first is 604 Aloha Grill.
Okay.
And that's fast casual island favorites. The other is Yo Mochi, which has mochi donuts and mochi malasadas and corn dogs and waffles and things like that.
All right. The Wynn Las Vegas has partnered with the team behind Chef's Table on Netflix for the next edition of their Revelry Festival, which will take place September 17th through the 19th at Wynn. At least those are the dates that they already set aside for events. We'll have more details when those are announced, so keep that in mind.
And I know you're doing news, but how great is this steak?
Oh my God.
How great is this octopus? And that
well, I was taking
foam
bites
that he put next to the octopus.
Saffron potato cloud.
And it's so smoky and beautiful.
It's so good.
Okay, you get back to the news.
Good.
This is also fucking good.
I know. Amazing. MGM Resorts is also planning a big F&B festival in September with an emphasis on the beverage side. The inaugural Drink Las Vegas Festival will take place at the Bellagio, Aria, Cosmopolitan, and Park MGM September 24th through the 27th. Their partners include event agency A21 and the sports management agency PRP. And together they're promising, quote, over 50 dynamic events across multiple venues designed for beverage and food enthusiasts at every level to explore the balance, craft, and synergy between drinks and the dish.
I bet a publicist got paid a lot of money to write that sentence.
They
did.
Is
a damn good PR sentence.
That is a great sentence.
I like that. We could just pull that right out of the press release. That's good. Whoever wrote that, good job.
Kudos to you. The press release promises renowned chefs, mixologists, sommeliers, celebrities, and top industry voices celebrating modern beverage culture through educational sessions, tasting experiences, and brand showcases.
That's also straight from the press release, by the way. I just didn't put the quotes around it.
We will definitely have more details for you as soon as they are announced. And tickets are on sale now for the 2nd annual Women in Hospitality Leadership Conference. That's April 19th and 20th at Wynn Las Vegas.
Oh, you're all about this, right?
I am. I'm in. I've already got my credentials set up. I will be there. Among the prominent women in F&B who will be participating, we have Dominique Crenn, Lorena Garcia, Angie Marr, Brooke Williamson, Antonio LaFaso, Sandra Douglas Morgan, Jan Jones Blackhurst, Elizabeth Blau, of course, Diana Bennett, Katina Connaughton, Monique Boyd, Tracy Morris, Mary Sue Milliken, Susan Finnegar, and more. We are hoping to get Jolene Menina on the podcast soon to tell us more about it. I think that's about it for this week's news. If you're looking for something cool to do over the next week, check out the event calendar at foodandloathing.vegas. You can plan months ahead or see what's happening over the next week. For example, here are some of the things it has listed just over the next week.
Yes. If you don't know what to do in the next week, Gemini has it for you.
We've got you tonight with the Friday when this podcast drops. This is the 20th. Tiramisu making class at Italy. Saturday, the 21st, Lily Residency by Tyler Vorse at Durango Social Club. Sunday, Thursday the 22nd, Lenny Colato winemaker dinner at Grapevine Cafe. Monday the 23rd, This Mama's House Lunar New Year pop-up at Durango Social Club. Tuesday the 24th, Chef's pasta tasting experience at El Slido Posto in Tivoli Village. And Wednesday the 25th, Astoria residency at Durango Social Club. Man, we've got a lot to do over the next week.
Yeah, and all of this is covered at foodandloathing.vegas on our event calendar.
It is.
It's also being mirrored over at Las Vegas Advisor. And I've got to say, you know, there are some other people in this town that try to put out what to do over the weekend, and God bless them, by the way.
Absolutely.
Everybody should do it. The more, the merrier.
I was just going to say, the more outlets, the better.
More outlets
tell the people what's
tell
up.
you about food. But I look at their list.
Yeah.
Come on, this is a week. Look at what we've got. Tiramisu making in Italy. We've got residencies. We have winemakers dinner.
And what I love about it is that there's very unique experiences. And as much as I hate the term very and unique together, but they are unique experiences. It's not the same thing that's happening every week, you know, and don't get me wrong, those are great too. But if you want something really just to blow your mind and have an experience that your friends may not have without you, check out the events calendar.
Yeah, and
we've got you covered.
Yeah, there are some residencies on there, which we mentioned, but they're limited residencies.
They are.
You got to get in now, right? If you're coming to Las Vegas, I mean, I haven't added those 2 festivals in September yet, but they're going to be on there really soon.
Absolutely.
Right now, if you come on now and you look at September, well, let's say as of probably by the time you read this, the dates will be set aside and it'll say something like more later, right? And then we'll come back and we'll give you the deal. But if you're planning a trip to Las Vegas, our goal with this event calendar is that you can go, okay, what can I eat that none of my friends can fucking eat when they come to Vegas? So that's what we're going for. And I'm really proud of it. And I thank you for all the work you've done on it and all the
everybody.
work you're doing.
We've got everybody that we work with. It's you, it's me, it's Andrew, it's Bob. We've had some stuff from Rachel Deal, who's been on the show in my stead before. I mean, we are pushing it out there and making sure that everybody has the info.
Other things at foodandloathing.vegas, like right now, recent news story on the history of Ellis Island. We've got Five Guys expansion to the Strip and Fremont Street. And, you know, I'll be honest, these are people that we've had on the podcast, but some people don't read the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Don't listen, right? So we get it right down to the juicy nuggets. You just go in and get those juicy nuggets.
That's
you get that at foodandloathing.vegas. If you've made it this far into the podcast, that's probably not you, but we have some original shit for you over there as well, including Bob Barnes' weekly dining and entertainment news column. This week, he has news on Don't Eat the Reaper Spicy Pizza Challenge at Evil Pie. He takes a deep dive into Chisaka Indian cuisine. While you're over there, sign up for our email newsletter, which we're going to plan to launch next month at some point, hopefully the beginning of the month, but you know, this is Vegas. It could be the end of the month. Beyond that, look for me and Andrew Morgan on the CW Las Vegas's ARC show. Listen for my Neon Feast foodie updates on all 3 of the Highway Drive networks, and read my writings at LasVegasAdvisor.com. And with that, as I eye this beautiful Spanish octopus sitting directly next to me, I'm going to let you know that I'm Al Mancini with Gemini Stevens on behalf of Rich Johnson, thanking our host, Chef Dante, Mike Thompson, everyone at Edge Steakhouse, people whose names I'm forgetting, I apologize, as well as our guests, Jason Janson, Ellie Parker, Allan Roth, of course, Andrew Morgan. And I just want to remind you people, eat well, drink well, tip well, and always stay hungry.